Good morning, guys. Welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to do some concrete cutting, and we're putting a drain along our pool steps because they didn't put it in when I originally got the decking done. That was a mistake. They said it would pitch well. It doesn't. It sunk a little bit. And so now I have kind of like a pooling of water at the bottom of my stairs. So this is the Slim Drain by NDS. I'll put a link in the description below. We have a couple different concrete saws that we're using today. I'm going to show you those as well. And so the first one is a rental. So we got this one. The issue we have is we want to make sure the depth from here to here, we're going to run it along a wall. So we want to make sure that we get the correct depth of just the 2 1/4 inch Slim Drain that we got. And so we got this. We'll do a fairly good depth. It has a water, basically a water hose going to it to keep things cool, keep the dust down and that sort of thing. Obviously, I'm going to wear eye gear. I'm going to wear face masks and things like that to keep myself healthy. But at the end of the day, we're going to start doing some concrete cutting, and we're going to get this Slim Drain put into our decking so we have good drainage. Okay, so here's where we're at in the process. I took a concrete saw and I cut basically down. It's about 3 inches or so where I cut down. I cut the marble and got a nice clean line here, and then I had to chisel out. It was set on top of another 1.5 inches of concrete. So not only did I have to cut out and get the actual pavers out, but I had to cut it down until I got back down to dirt. And so I did that so I could get the depth I needed to actually set the drain as deep as it is over there, where the water would actually flow into the drain. And so now the next process and thing I'm going to do is I'm going to connect all the drains. And this drain is really kind of nice because you can take a saw and you can just basically cut. So if you need to shorten it, you can just take a hacksaw and cut down the thing. And then you're going to cut down the top as well just to make it fit. And then these actually work and they connect together. So if you look at the drains over here, there's a connection joint right there. And you can see I got some gravel in there right now, but once that, it'll be all cleaned out. And then I'm going to pull the whole drain out after I get everything measured in. I'm going to pull the drain out. I'm going to put concrete into the hole. I'm going to shove it all down so the concrete goes up the sides and fills all the gaps that came from taking out the concrete below it. So it should be set in there nice and tight. So the other good thing about this is at the ends, these come with all of the different pieces to connect to the ends. So let me show you those quick. Okay, so the drain's finished for the most part. Everything is done. And you could see what happened here. So when we had this in, we had the patio put in. They said we didn't need to drain along the stairs or along the deck. They were wrong. So if somebody tells you that, that's the first thing. You need a drain no matter what. It's going to cost you more money, but it's much easier to do when you're putting a stone down versus afterwards. So what we had to do here is we needed to put a drain here because the water was pooling, and you could see what it did. So to all of our marble, it basically pretty much dirtied every single tile. And because this marble is very sensitive, it pulled calcium to the surface, and now we're having a hard time trying to figure out what to do to clean it. And so because you don't want to do anything harsh, you don't want to do anything with that's acidic, even vinegar and things like that, unless it's really, really watered down, is really bad for marble. It'll actually ruin the finish of the tile. And so we don't want to do that. If anyone has any suggestions on how to clean outdoor marble patio tiles, please send me a message because I don't know how to do it. This is what they look like new because I had to replace this one because it broke. This is what mine look like now. And besides using a plastic scraper and scrubbing it by hand, which I'm sure I'm going to give that more of a try, I can't seem to get these clean. So if you have suggestions, let me know. So anyway, we took a concrete saw, we cut out the area that we needed to get down to a place where we want to put this drain in. So I gave myself a little bit of distance in here. You can see that there's a little bit of a gap between there. But I cut right along the stairs to get this drain put in. I got this drain at Home Depot. You can get it at Lowe's as well. It comes in 6-foot sections. You can cut it with a hacksaw or something like that. It's plastic. It's like a PVC pipe type thing. You can cut the top of it as well. One thing to note with it is it has these connectors that go in between if you want to connect a bunch of them together. But I couldn't seem to find like a 90-degree connector. So what I did is I drilled a 1.5 inch hole in the corner that's over there. And I drilled that, and I put in a PVC pipe, a 1.5 inch PVC pipe to connect the two drains together there. Because they don't really have, and I can't find any kind of 90-degree that they actually sell. And then these top pieces just snap on. The nice thing is you can snap the tops off. You can clean the drains out with a hose. You can spray them out, get them nice and cleaned out, and then snap the drains right back on top. So I put this down. What I did is I got concrete. I mixed it really, really loose, and I poured it in the base of this before the drain was down, and I shoved it in there nice and tight so that the concrete would just kind of like squish up the sides like peanut butter would, right? So it just kind of squished up the sides, and so it would hold the drain in nice and tight. So now the drain's concreted in. It will not come out unless I chisel it out or pull it out and break it all again. So did that, and I used obviously I used a concrete saw to get down into the concrete. This patio base is concrete as well, so I had to chip a lot out. There's probably an inch of concrete with an inch and a half marble tile on top of it. Got the drain all put in there, got everything connected. And then everything kind of runs down to one side. So as you start going down, everything runs down this way until you get to the end. And then the end of this is a 1.5 inch PVC pipe that connects to the last piece of drain that's there. And I angled it so it pops out here. So it's got a 1.5 inch drain that pops out. So it'll drain all the water out, and it shoots it out down to a place where it's going to roll back into the back of the yard. So that's it. So if you're looking for a drain either by a door, out by outside your garage door, things along those lines, this is a really good option. It's pretty heavy duty. You can step on it, you can walk on it and things like that, but it has a really nice look to it. If you look down the thing, it kind of blends in. You don't see it that much. That was the goal, is that you didn't see it, but it shot water out off the patio. And then hopefully, once I get this cleaned with whatever I can find to clean it, to make it look like it's new again, that our patio will stay nice and clean, and you won't get that buildup of water, which brings all the calcium to the surface. So that's it. Subscribe to my channel. Super thanks is always welcome. And if you're looking to put a drain in, check this out. I'll put a link in the description below of the drain that we bought. This project probably cost me about $500 when you're talking about drains and things like that. And I have about 50 feet of drain put in for that price. So that's it. We'll see you next time.